This is Dr. Pelto, the founder of Heal My Foot Wound Fast. I'm so glad you're here, and I'm so glad you're getting this information about your diabetes and also about your foot wound. Now, as you probably know, or maybe you don't know, wounds many times are caused by other things that lead up to them. Okay? And wounds, if they're not taken care of, they can lead to other problems as well, such as an amputation. And it's very important. The longer that your wound is open, the greater risk you have of developing an amputation. That's why it's so important that we get your wound healed fast. And I've put together these 9 steps that can help you heal your foot wound fast. And there's 9 things that every patient that comes in to my office that has a foot wound, I look at these 9 things. And I'm going to review them with you today. And I'm going to show you how you can get more information afterwards. The first thing I look at is I look at their overall diabetic health. I do something called a comprehensive diabetic foot exam. This will look at every aspect of their diabetes, and it includes the other steps. Step number 2 is I look at the skin. Are there any wounds? Are there any cuts? Is there any dryness? Are there any calluses? Because calluses pretty much always lead to wounds, unless you have a blister or a tight shoe. Then I also look at the circulation. How is your blood flow? Can I feel your pulses? If you have poor pulses, those should be looked at. That's something else we go a lot into detail because there's a lot to look at that, at your blood flow. What type of tests that you can do? How do you do an ABI, ankle brachial index? What's something called an MRA, an evaluation of kind of like an MRI, but looking at your arteries. That we look at in the blood flow section. Next, I look at your feeling. How is the feeling on your feet? Have you ever heard of a Sims-Weinstein or had the vibration test on your foot? How is your feeling? If you're not sure, we can teach you more about that later on. Because neuropathy or poor feeling is one of the leading causes of wounds not healing. Next, I look at the bones in your musculoskeletal system. Do you have any curved toes? Are those toes rubbing in the shoes? Is that what caused your wound? Do you not know what to do if you have a bony prominence? Do you have an infection in your bone? All those things need to be looked at. So that encompasses the first 5 steps. And the last steps are more of the treatment steps that we do in the office. When you come in to see a doctor, you need to do something to the wound every time. You need to debride the wound. You need to take off all the bad tissue. But you may not know, is your doctor doing it the right way? Should you be doing it? Do you need debridement? Kind of what needs to be done? And I'm going to explain in depth what debridement is, how you do it, why sharp debridement is needed. I'm going to go over something called the edge effect. It's something that explains more in depth of why debriding or removing that tissue around the edge, removing the calluses, is so important around a wound. As well, I'm going to look at how we measure and how we track wounds. There's different types of systems that you can use. How you measure the width, the height, the depth. How you look at the different problems when you're measuring it, why it doesn't get smaller at a quicker rate. And then when, based on measuring it, why is it that after 4 weeks of it not healing 50%, why you should consider doing some other type of skin substitute, some other type of skin graft on your foot. And then the next part, number 8, is important. It's something that explains why you need to use a dressing. Why should you use a foam dressing versus a hydrogel dressing? Why you should use Promogran or Accuzyme. There's a lot of things out there. It's like alphabet soup, and you may not know which dressing you should be putting on. If you're only using wet to dry dressings on your wound, meaning gauze with saline and then pulling it off, if you're only doing that, there are a lot of other types of dressing that you can put on and that we're going to explain deeper in this course. Okay? And then as well, this is really the fundamental key where I find that everything else doesn't matter if you don't do this last step. This last step is offloading your foot wound. You need to take the pressure off of it. Why? Because if you had a cut in your finger, would you use that finger? No. But you have a cut on your foot and it may not hurt. And the reason it's not getting better is because you're walking on it. You need to offload it, take the pressure off. And there's a lot of different shoes. There's a lot of different devices that can help you with that. And I'm going to go and explain more how you can get information about this below.